Hello, lovely people. I am back for the fucking second time because I recorded this earlier and my OBS fucked up the audio, which was awesome fun to deal with, and now I'm doing it all over again. But it's fine because I can just repeat what I yapped about, and it's only like 20 minutes because it's only Act 1, and Act 1's really short. But you know, yeah, I was just playing Act 1 because like last video I also made about Ochkill, and that was fun, and I want to do it again because it was fun. I know, like, shocking logic. But also, we're getting right into it because, yeah. I also wanted to make this video to promote myself because I'm a capitalist like that. Oh, Jesus, bye, Maurice. Because I'm selling artwork on Vinted, which, in UK, because, that's where I live. And yeah. What the? Okay. And yeah, I'm selling art. I doubt this is going to get more than 3 views, but if it does, please consider checking it out. Just looking. If you like it and you live in the UK, it's only £8 per piece because it's all just digital prints. There's like a lot of Will Wood stuff, like Will Wood album cover, like fan art I did. Also White Knuckle stuff. I might do an Ochkill one, but I don't know if that's too niche, but in the same breath I did just say I did White Knuckle stuff, and that's way more niche. But, you know, yeah. You can get it outside of the UK, I think. I think Vinted works through that. But you're going to have to pay for postage. To be fair, I don't think it's that bad, because it would just be like, you know, envelope, and it's like backed with cards. It's not a big, like, parcel. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting. I do not think so. Anyway, Act 1. Because I know, Act 1's cool. Act 1 doesn't get enough attention. Everyone's always like, Act 3, Act 2. And to be fair, they are really cool. There is an obvious like step up in quality and length and content. But I like the humbleness of Act 1. I like how it kind of starts off lulling you into this false sense of security, like, oh, okay, this is just your casual boomer shooter. And I like Limbo especially, I think, for Act 1. It's kind of like, when I think of Act 1, I think of Limbo. Although this level specifically I find weird, because it's probably the weirdest Limbo level. It's one of the weirdest like levels in this game in terms of pacing as a whole, because it's like, great, I didn't parry that. Where's the guy? There's the guy. I should have just nuked, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the weirdest like paced levels. I feel like, well, okay, first of all, the music is like really calm for like the first part, even when like there's combat. Which I kind of get for like the contrast of the reveal here, but also it just feels unnerving in the way that it doesn't feel like it's trying to be unnerving. It just feels a bit strange and cold and not dead, just empty, like the first arena. And then, you know, you do all the stuff up there and that's fine, and it kind of sets up the contrast well. But after the contrast of the street cleaners and you kind of revealed that, and then we go into this, and this arena's just like really weird, like pacing wise, because it's like a final arena to like finish off a level, but it comes like at a point where it feels like the level's only just starting. Like you're just introduced to the street cleaners, and it feels like, okay, we're about to get a like section where we're looking into this aesthetic, and then it just ends as soon as like you spend some time outside, and it doesn't even carry over to the inside. It's a weirdly paced level. I like 1-2, like, don't get me wrong, I like it. It's probably just, like, the worst of Limbo. Which is a shame, because, like, the street cleaner reveal is cool, I do. I can't coin, by the way, what the fuck. And then it's, like, the other thing is, it's sandwiched between 2 quite long levels. Like, it's even shorter than Prelude, I'm gonna say. Like, Prelude levels, most of them at least. Definitely shorter than 0-1, which is like so weird. Anyway, yeah, it's sandwiched between like 1-1, which is quite a long level, so I introduce you to like the aesthetics of Limbo. You're kind of going back and forth a bit, and then like 1-3, which is like a really long level. If you're going both skull paths, even if you're not, it's quite like content heavy. And there's a lot going on. It's fitting a lot in, basically, and that's like what you're going for. You have the big boss. You know what? I love doing a nuke here. This is one of my favorite. Okay, unless the fucking schism gets in my way. I was just like, that's so. In my previous video that I did that didn't, like, I don't upload because the audio fucked up, thanks OBS. Yeah, I got that nuke immediately. But no, it fucked up, of course it did. Why is that Marie so deep in the ground? Whatever. Is it because of the stairs? Probably. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna say that was one of my favourite nuke locations, but clearly not, I guess. It was cool when I did it, like, actually. Hi, Maurice. Again, I'm going this way. In my, like, in the one that didn't work, I went this way again, and this is not my usual path. I'm just, like, because I'm yapping, I'm just going on autopilot. Usually I go the other way around. I mean, it still works. It's just I'm not used to it. Oh, yeah, and then I was yapping about, like, how... This game is quite interesting in that, at least for me, I don't know for everyone, but it encourages, like, so much replayability, that it kind of gets to the point where you're making strategies and specific skill paths for each room. And then it's, like, it's kind of ingrained in your muscle memory to do these specific actions, this, and this, and this. And then that, like, when you get to, like, higher skill levels, you kind of rely on that more as you're trying to, like, P-rank the levels, and you're just replaying for, like, fun. And what I experienced when Fraud came out, at least, because I was doing that so much, despite, like, P-ranking all of Brutal, I struggled with Fraud, because... Where did that... Okay, whatever. I struggled with Fraud, just because I wasn't used to the layout, and sure, some of that can probably be attributed to, like, the lag on day one release, also the portals, and how fucking crazy that was, especially A-3. But some of it I felt like was just my skill, because I hadn't played for so long, like, outside of just the normal base game levels, and I was just used to that muscle memory of, like, for each room. It kind of subtracted from my skill a bit, because I technically wasn't practicing, like, you know, improvisation and, like, keeping myself alive properly, because I can just rely on my known and tested, you know, strategies in each room to get me to survive. And I don't know, though, I thought that was an interesting part of this game. Anyway, V2. I didn't yap about V2 last time. V2's a cool boss. Like, he's one of my favourite bosses. Sorry. I use she pronouns, it's funny. Also, like, fits the character so well, like, the snarkiness. I can't believe I didn't do the insta-kill, by the way, that's kind of crazy. V2's a really cool boss. Like, a really unique and clever boss. Like, this game, I feel like, does, like, the dual kind of bosses, where it's, like, one-on-one, like Gabriel, the Prime Souls, V2, really, really well. Like, they are some of my favourite bosses, compared to some, like, the bigger, heftier bosses, like, I don't know, the Leviathan and Garyon, which I spoke about in my last video, to be fair. But yeah, I like it. It's, like, the first proper, like, skill test in the game, which I think is well placed at the start of Act 1, because it kind of prepares you. For me, I, like, struggled so much. It was, like, really crazy. Like, I was really struggling. It was the point where I was a bit like, okay, should I keep going with this game? Because I've only, like, should I just refund it? I'm very glad I did not, because it's become my entire personality. But, yeah. I don't know. V2's cool. But to be fair, like, something to contrast that, I have seen a couple YouTube videos where people just, like, do her, like, really, really quickly. They get her, like, first try because she has so few health. And it's not even, like, it's just a random, not random, but, like, they weren't playing particularly well. It's just their specific how they played fitted, like, V2's combat style so well. And even, like, better players who just have a different fight style wouldn't do this well at all. Which I thought was really interesting. It's not a bad thing necessarily, because, like, she's still a well-designed boss, I feel like. Like, all her moves are very balanced. The only thing I would say is more parries. I feel like that would also, like, fit into her design as well, as she's like the opposite to, like, V1, and, like, parrying is a very integral, I don't know, it feels like a very integral part of, like, your character from the start of the game. And it's a blue arm and, like, everything, and you're, like, blue, so that would be cool. More parries I feel like would make it fair, because, like, parries are skill based, but they're quite generous in that they give you health and your stamina back, which kind of encourages movement and more risky playing, which I think is just fun. Like, I see no problem in that, even if it makes it a tiny bit easier, which, to be honest, I think it could do it, because if I was considering refunding the game, to be fair, I kind of sucked when I started Ultrakill, but still, it introduces a lot of, like, concepts quite quickly, like V2 and, like, how she fights, without giving much time to adapt. Like, it's not really like built up to in any previous levels. It's like, I don't know, I feel like more parries and more fair parries. Like, her shotgun parry is quite hard. Like, melee parries even. Like, it would be, imagine if we got like her actually using her knuckle blaster. Like, that would be so cool. Because then we can actually see it in like power, and like when we get it, it's more impactful rather than just like, oh, what is this? She never even used this. It might be hard to get her to use like a melee thing, because she's so fast and you're so nimble. It would be hard for her to like get close to you. But I don't know, if she like dashed into you and like punched you, but like there was a little yellow flash and you could see yourself punch it back. That would be like so cool, man. I don't know. I wish one day they will do such things. I don't know. Yeah, that would be really cool. But I don't think they will. Probably not. Like, V2 isn't bad enough to need a rework, so they probably won't redo her. Which I guess is fair, but like, how cool would that be? Like, her actually using the knuckle blaster. I don't, to be fair, then it would be kind of expected she does the same thing with the whiplash in her second fight. But I like her her second fight is like layered enough so I feel I don't have the same complaints. Like, because she uses coins, there's that another layer of like retaliation and like fighting back against her. It doesn't make it necessarily easier, because I love the mechanic because it can swing in both directions, in that she can shoot your coins and that's kind of a hindrance, but like you can shoot her coins and it's like, whoa, that's so like layered and like cool and skill based and like, yeah. But you know, I kind of get it. Like, I don't know, they probably wouldn't be able to make the whiplash thing work. Like, that goes against a lot of what this game is trying to do with its movement basis and like encouraging freedom and like restricting the player, which is why the harpoon should get fucking removed. Just saying, fuck you, hideous masses. Or at least reworked. Like, the harpoon is bad, just let it do damage to you and you can parry it back, I feel. But oh well. It just doesn't fit into this game at all. It's like the only thing that restricts your movement in this game, I'm pretty sure. Which is like so annoying. Wait, what? Oh. You know, I really like 2-3. 2-3 is probably my favourite last level. I don't know, it's just really cool. Like, the aesthetic and like the vibe, and it's just a cool level, man. I feel like a lot of people don't like it. That amazing nuke. For some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's not true. Maybe I just heard like 1 or 2 people say they don't like it and then confirmation bias. But I don't know. I get that sense a bit. Which is a shame. I mean, I kind of get it, because recently I saw a video. I said this in my last video by a guy. Kuro Kuro. I'm saying it with an accent because it makes me sound cool. But like, yeah, he was cool. Like, I liked his video. It's a 6-hour video. Basically reviewing this game. And he said he didn't like 2-2 specifically because of how it kind of forced you to replay through the same room over and over with like the electric boxes, and how it kind of broke up the momentum of what was established in Prelude and like Limbo, where it's very linear progression. And I kind of get why 2-2 does it, because it needs to establish this idea of like re-going over rooms, because that is done a lot in this game, like later on, and it's done well. But it's a bit of a clunky interaction, I think, mostly because the electric boxes are quite, you know, they're hard to find, they're small. Can you really tell that they're not just part of the environment and all that? But maybe that like loss of momentum is why a lot of people don't like 2-3, because their first experience of it was very you know, like having to like not do that momentum thing. Like, it goes against what the game has established up to that point, which is kind of fair, but also it's such a cool level. Like, pacing wise, it's so cool. The interaction with the mind player is so natural and it just works really well. And I don't know, I love it. I love 2-3. And also like the aesthetic, I'm so glad we see more of the traps, like rather than just in Limbo, because they're like really cool, those stage hazards and how like the enemies can interact with them. And I like, yeah, again, this introduction of the mind player is really cool, where it's like you're introduced to it solo in the room you start in. Again, like, that's a cool pacing thing, because you're already like, you're used to the room and its ins and outs, because you've gone through it twice now. It makes that arena very natural and like not easy, but it makes the boss fight a little bit more understandable. if that makes sense. Also, what did I not kill? So it's a shame I see a lot of people not like it. But, again, I kind of get why. Maybe it's also just the skill jump, because the my player is quite hard. But I don't know, I didn't feel that. And then, like, everyone says V2 is hard, but everyone likes V2. Well, everyone says V2 is easy on subsequent playthroughs, which is really funny, actually. It's an interesting contrast. I wonder why that is. I guess just getting more used to aerial movement, how much V2 kind of plays into that, and how not used to it you are in your first playthrough. But then again, maybe it's also just like sword traps, and the coin thing. I don't know. It might just be your arsenal, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. I also love this level. Like, just not thematically, I don't know, atmospherically, how it introduces the corpse, because it's very quiet, like it's very long, especially the railroad. It's very unnatural in that you're going at quite a slow pace. Like, the rail thing kind of forces you to go at quite a slow pace, because most players will just take the rail thing because they won't know they can't, if that makes sense. They want to play by the game's rules because they don't know it so well. Okay, I suck. But yeah, I like the hand reveal is so cool. That was I was really impressed when I first played this game, and the hand revealed itself. Like, it was really creepy and off-putting because you're put in this like unnerving place of like, why am I going so slow? It's completely going against what the game has taught you so far. And then it's just like this hand comes out of nowhere, your thing stops, it gets dark, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't know, I really like it. And then obviously you're introduced to the guy, which you see before, and now it's kind of like built up in Lust. Like, you see him, you get closer to him. Although that being said, that works until 2-3, where you're forced to look up to actually see him, and no new player's going to look up, because not any player's going to look up. I mean, like, you know, if you're replaying you might, but, you know, gamers don't look up. Which is a shame, because it's really cool foreshadowing. It's a cool boss fight. Even if it's like so simple, it's more just cool for its aesthetic, and I like how it very much plays into it. I think it knows what it is, and it doesn't try to like pretend it's something else, which I think works really well. Anyway, Gluttony, my favourite Act 1 layer. Just, it's aesthetically so good. It's probably my favourite like layer visually. I mean, I say that like visually, Fraud, for example, is really good, but it's like, it's incoherent, but like purposefully so. But I like the coherence of Gluttony's aesthetic, and just like how much it plays into like the grossness of it. It's so cool. Like, honestly, pre-revamp, it was so bad. And like, if anyone who hasn't played this game pre-revamp, my gosh, you are lucky. Like, it was bad, like really bad. Also, I hate this street cleaner spawn because it's so convoluted. Because they get lost everywhere and they need to go around the whole circuit. But and because you can't whip push them and stuff, it's just an annoying spawn. But tiny nitpick. But yeah, like for example, like before pre-revamp, these were just like rectangles of like vaguely bone-colored material. Yeah, and there were just like boxes of like flesh. It didn't look like actual fleshy at all. Mostly because like revamp was really rushed. Sorry, not revamp. Gluttony was really rushed when it came out because they were trying to get early access out, which was all of Act 1. Which was such a shame, but like it's so cool they went back over it because it looks so much better. It's so cool now, and now it's my favourite layer visually. To be fair, I do just really like all the what are they called? The last layers of each act. I don't know. I like how they all like put your skills to the test. Like they don't introduce any new concepts, no new enemies. They just put what you've learned in the act to test, and like that's even just the game as a whole to test. And I think that's really cool. Like it's really cool this game has the chance to do that, and it's not just like a constant progression thing. Like it's not a bad thing, but it's cool to have a little retrospect. It makes the player feel like their progress is amounting to something. And that's like shown in the Gabriel boss fights, but also Gabriel's meant to be a hard boss fight, so you do kind of feel a sense of difficulty, so you don't feel like, you know, I'm getting more powerful. But, you know, which is why, yeah, I just really like Gluttony, Heresy. I hope I'm going to like Treachery. because they're going to be able to do so many cool things with like death catches and like powers. Like there's like some really good opportunities for really unique encounters. Also, I'm gonna skip this because I want to yap more. But yeah, I also, it's stupid how you can skid on the acid. I mean, cool, but stupid. But yeah, I don't know, that's why I really like them. I personally prefer, it's weird because I prefer the combat encounters of Heresy, but I definitely prefer the aesthetic and theming of Gluttony a lot more. But still, like, both of them are really good. Like, the Upside Down City of Heresy was really cool, and the song Cry for the Reaper like works so well, which is awesome. Anyway, Gabriel, he's a cool boss fight. Again, what I'm saying about like one-on-one duels, he's one of the better ones. I'd say Act 2 Gabriel is better, and then obviously like Sisyphus Prime is the best. Bye, Gabriel. And I like this swearing, I don't know. Like, that was impactful to me. I don't know why. Like, when he says insignificant fuck. It's really good voice acting. Insignificant fuck. It's crazy, Gabriel. We don't swear. Anyway, bye. But yeah, thank you for watching up to here. Hopefully OBS doesn't fuck my audio. That would be very sad and annoying. And yeah, I don't know. Buy my art if you want to, if you like it. Okay, bye.
Bâtard, c'est le monde à l'envers. C'est moi qui me demande si je fais pas tout de travers. Mais j'arrive pas à lui plaire. J'essaie de trouver la famille, y'a rien à faire. Je raccroche mon tel, je me parle à moi-même. Mais de fou, c'était ça que je voulais au début. Moi aussi, ouais, putain, trop bien. Être pote, c'est ça, ça tombe à pic. Mais ça pique, pique, pique un peu quand même. Je cuisine pour une personne depuis mon 6 semaines. Ça fait tic-tic, un peu quand même. Pip, pip, ça me fout l'air. Mais ça pique, pique, pique un peu quand même. Je cuisine pour ma pomme depuis au moins 6 semaines. Ça fait tic-tic, un peu quand même. Pip, pip, ça me fout l'air. Comme un célibataire de 30 balais. Quand ça sonne à ma porte, c'est pour le voisin d'en bas. Et même quand c'est la pause, bossez jamais pour moi. Moi je suis là, j'ai des times et des lèvres dans le frigo. Y'en a un peu trop, je